A lot is going on at the moment, and I think it's really important to ground ourselves. We can easily let our head take away and we don't come back into our body. If you're interested in understanding how to bring yourself back into your body, this video is for you. Hello, my name is Katerina. If you are new here, then thank you so much for clicking on this video. And if you are a subscriber, then welcome back. I've been thinking about all the things that are going on in the sky at the moment and how that is collectively bringing certain energies and what collectively we're going through. And I don't want to be ignorant of that. I also don't want to kind of bring more fear. I think we as human beings, we as vessels, are not meant to carry the overload of emotions and of information that is happening to the world. I feel like, it's really important to be aware, but I think as a human, you can only carry so much. We are just not meant to carry this much information. We are just not meant to carry this much pain. We are not built for it. And the one thing that helps us through this information, through this pain, is the one thing we actually, or the majority of us, are cut off from. And that's nature. Walking barefoot on the grass is grounding. That naturally brings you back into your body. You don't need to do anything. It naturally grounds you. And if you don't have that in your daily life, you have to purposefully do grounding techniques to bring you back into your body. So if you're overloading on information that's going on in the world and the pain and the hurt that people are having and suffering through, and you don't have that natural grounded technique within your life or habit, it can completely take you away. And that's where anxiety builds, is not grounding yourself daily. If you live around nature, it's really normal for you to ground yourself daily. If you don't, you have to actively try. And if you're not aware, then you're not trying because you're not aware that you need to ground yourself. What made me kind of think of this topic is I'm actually writing Saturn within transits right now, and I'm writing about Saturn ingressed into Aries, and I'm writing about how you seeing that malefic cross into a different house of yours, knowing that what people say about that planet, it can bring a lot of emotions and a lot of spiraling and a lot of anxiety about something. And I thought, what would be the perfect tool for someone to be able to process that and go through that? Genuinely, that's grounding. Nervous system safety mapping. If you're interested in understanding Saturn through your natal chart, through the moment you were born, what Saturn's lessons are teaching you, what they are, if you really want to understand Saturn as a planet and know that every time you see it, hear of it, every time it's Capricorn rising or Aquarius rising, whatever happens, you know the lived experience, you know the truth of that, you know which house it's in, and you know what lessons it is. And it can be so much easier to navigate your life knowing what Saturn wants from you. And then you just got to stay dedicated to that lesson. And life does get, I wouldn't say it's not easier, it's not suddenly like, the clouds part type energy, even though it can feel like that, it just comes with ease. You're no longer climbing up a mountain that's not for you. You're climbing up the mountain that is for you. And it genuinely, I wish a lot of people did this journey, because it genuinely really, really helps you. So if you're interested in understanding Saturn within your birth chart and what lessons, and especially if you were a Capricorn rising, Saturn rules your life path. You have to understand what the lesson is and where Saturn is within your chart. That is the area of life that will be the most prevalent. It's really essential for you to know that, regardless of its Saturn, you need to know your chart ruler and know where your chart ruler is in your chart. And that is where the area that you need to focus on. That is the key to your fulfillment, your path. So yeah, if you're interested in that, the link is below. But I just felt inspired because when I was writing about the Saturn ingress into Aries, and I was writing about when it transits a certain house, and in the writings that I'm doing, I'm going from the point of whole sign, so I'm doing like rising sign. And I was just thinking about like what would help me in this moment, what is actually going to help me move through this path. And I'm a Capricorn rising. Saturn is going through my fourth house, and I thought about it. And fourth house, yes, is home and stuff like that, but it's inner home, it's inner safety. Regardless of what's going on in your life, can you keep yourself safe? And that is something that has been a arrow pointing to, especially last summer, which was we had a glimpse of Saturn and Neptune in Aries. I was naturally grounding myself in that time. I was naturally doing these rituals that were kind of ancestral, and it made me realize that that's what helps me through those times. That's what helps me. It's not about reading or understanding something more when it comes to what's happening in the sky collectively and how that's, changing the energy. It's grounding. So this is going to be a really quick video because I'm just genuinely going to give you grounding tools. So number one, you can do multiple different ways to do this, but one is the pranayama breathing. I'm going to put the mic down. So basically you block one nostril, breathe in, then hold the other nostril before you basically don't let the air come out, and then hold the other nostril, block the other nostril, and breathe out through the other nostril. So it's in one nostril, out the other nostril, in that nostril, then out the other nostril. That's a really good breathing technique. The other one is like breathe in for 4, breathe out for 6. You need to breathe out your mouth and you need to breathe out longer than you breathe in. That teaches your nervous system that you are safe, that where you are is safe, and it basically teaches it to regulate itself. Those are the only 2 breathing techniques that I use, and I interchange them. I don't do one after the other. Just every morning, depending on how I feel, I lay in bed or I sit up with my feet on the ground and I breathe in and out maybe like 4 or 5 times, but I don't overthink it. I just do it, feel whatever's natural, and that's kind of extremely, that's exactly like when I wake up. I go just straight to do that. So breathing techniques, you can do 4, 4, 4, 4. So 4 breathe in, 4 hold, 4 breathe out, 4 hold. That's the box breathing. So whichever one feels most natural to you at any time during the day, but start your morning with it. Another thing that I do is I shake in my bed. So I shake my legs or shake my hips, and I do that for a little bit, not overly long, just a little bit to kind of wake my body up. But also shaking can relate to nervous system regulation. So it's a somatic move. So I kind of do that. Depending on how I feel in the morning, sometimes I don't do that. But I would say I do I would say like 3 times a week, definitely do the shaking in the morning. But every morning I always do the breathing. I used to write this, and I think there is something really beautiful about writing. However, honestly, a lot of the mornings I find myself not doing it if I have to get a pen and paper out. If my morning is really slow, I will, but a lot of the time after I've done my breathing, I'll just lie in bed and and point out 3 things I'm really grateful for that I can feel here. So like if I hear the birds in the morning, I'll say, "Oh, I really love that sound. I'm so grateful to hear that sound every morning." I think you can hear them now. um, and then I'll be like, "Oh, I'm so grateful for my bed. I'm so grateful for this cover that's on my bed that's keeping me warm." Um, if you can write those if that is your preference. I just say them out loud and I just feel how I feel like in that moment. This is something that I do for money regulation when it comes to my nervous system, and sort of visualization. After I've done my gratitude, I just imagine like what it would feel like to know that I earned a certain amount today, or I had a certain amount of clients or subscribers or whatever. If I feel like I'm in the mood for that, or if I feel a bit anxious about kind of where I'm heading, I will just spend a moment really believing that I have that. And then that kind of sets me up for the day, and I kind of hold that energy throughout the day. So that's my morning. That consists of breathing, somatics, gratitude, some sort of visualization. The visualization and the somatics is not something I do every single morning. The breathing and the gratitude is something that I do every morning. Things that I do during the day, groundedness, breathing, I do throughout the day. If I ever feel like I'm getting a bit stressed, or if I'm getting away from myself, or I'm too in my head, or I hear something bad, I'll just go back into breathing and slow breathing again. Normally, I do 4 in, 6 out. That's kind of my base breathing technique. The other things that I do that are nervous system regulation related are humming. Humming is extremely powerful. If people are around you and you feel uncomfortable, just hum a song that you know, and just try and hold the notes for a bit longer so it creates that vibration. You can sit down and stomp your feet. So if you hear something or someone stressed you out or whatever it is, if something's bringing you back into nervous system dysregulation, just stomp your feet during that. And then it's breathing again. So it's mainly those things that I do on a consistent basis. These are just really, really simple things, but people take them for granted. Don't listen to music that spikes your cortisol. Listen to things that really calm you in those moments. That's my consistent thing, is like if I feel stressed, too much noise. So I won't watch TV or I won't listen to music with words if my head is all over the place or if I'm really drained. I either won't listen to anything and there'll be complete silence, or I will listen to something that's got like maybe some jazz or like a piano or a frequency, but I won't listen to something that's got words, because your mind just cannot focus on one thing. Like it can't focus on multiple things at a time. It can only focus on one thing. And I've been more aware of this, the kind of deeper I've gone into nervous system safety mapping, is realizing like the multiple sounds is actually what spikes my nervous system more, and makes me stressed more, is when I'm when I'm already feeling a bit heightened, and then I do something whilst listening to something with words, I notice, and my intuition is like, turn it all off. So I'm like, okay, I need to turn it all off because like my mind is all over the place. So anything that kind of calms you, brings you back down to earth. Honestly, silence is probably the best thing, and we don't have enough of it. We don't let ourselves sit in silence, which is genuinely one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Put a timer on, start with 5 minutes, lead up to 20 minutes. You'll notice you'll like boredom will kick in because you're not doing anything and there's nothing to watch or listen to. But it's really, really important to have those moments of complete silence, complete nothing. Your attention span is very short, which is why timers help you. Until that timer goes off, do not pick up anything or listen to anything. Other things that are really small, but eating whilst not watching TV, and slow intentional eating. So like, say for instance you're eating something, sit at the table and just eat like food, obviously. Slowly chew. All you're focusing on is like, you're being very intentional with how you have your dinner or whatever it is. That helps you take yourself out of your mind and into your body. It's all things to do with senses. So touch, taste, hear, see, like anything that brings you back into your body. So anything to do with senses. Now, the final one is to do with senses, and that is if you find yourself stressing out, getting overly heightened in your emotions, take a moment, put everything down, and just sit and look around your space. Slowly move your eyes around the whole space. Observe. Say 3 things you can touch or feel, 3 things that you can see, and 3 things that you can hear. Name those things. Take a moment. You do not have to schedule this in. This is not about scheduling these habits in. This is about doing these habits in moments where you feel you're getting really stressed. It brings you back into your body. It brings you back into that space, and it grounds you. There are some things that you do genuinely have to do every day, i.e. breathing techniques. But a lot of the time it is just, oh, I'm feeling really stressed. Okay, take a moment, take everything out, like stop listening to like music or whatever, just turn everything off and just sit and be like, I can hear the birds, I can hear the wind. So a little recap. Breathing, we can do pranayama breathing, we can do box breathing, or we can do breathe in for 4, breathe out for 6. Every time you breathe, apart from pranayama breathing, you breathe out through your mouth. Breathe into your nose, breathe out through your mouth. We have gratitude. We have writing or speaking. The most simple things, but you have to really feel it. This isn't about writing a tick list. I'm grateful for coffee, etc. It's like really feeling the gratefulness, really feeling it in your body. Like, I'm so grateful for my legs, and my legs can move, and I'm so grateful for that. You have to feel the gratitude. Anytime a negative thought comes back in to your mind, just be like, no, I'm so grateful for this moment. Then we have nervous system regulations. So we have, again, breathing with that, humming. We have stomping our feet. What else did I say? We have like the butterfly thing, which I didn't say, but I don't really use that. So I'm just saying what I use personally. Sometimes I do say, like, if I'm really, really stressful, I'm like, hey, we're safe, we're okay. And I just talk to myself in that way. And then we have anything to do with senses. So we have, not listening, not overly listening to a lot. We have silence or calming music, things that calm your cortisol levels, things that don't heighten it, and trying not to do multiple things in one go, being more intentional with the way that you do your work, and that also is intentional with the way you eat. So being more intentional with that, being more intentional with the way you move your body. You know, it could be you want to do a flow in the evening, go do that. It could be you want to walk, but you kind of feel like you don't want to have your headphones. Do that. Like, basically just more intentional things that gets you back into your body. And then the final one is the name 3 things you can hear, 3 things that you can see, 3 things that you can feel in your vicinity, in the room that you are in. And that brings you back into your body during stressful moments. We cannot change what is going on in the world when we're not helping ourselves. And I say this all the time. I was really active, and I still am, but I ground myself more. But there was a moment where I was really, really active. It was during 2021, 2022 time. And it was, I just don't remember that year. I do not remember that year. I was so stressed, so hurt, had so much pain in me because I couldn't believe what was happening in the world. And I genuinely don't remember that year. It was a blur. And I think that moment made me realize, like, I can't help anyone if I don't help myself. I'll just be sitting there anxious, making myself more ill, not making money, not helping others with the money that I would make. I kind of feel like a lot of people probably are going through that now and probably are still going through it. Because I genuinely believe that. And I know that might be, I don't think it's controversial to say, I just don't think we're built, our bodies are built to carry all this information that is going on in the world. I think it's really important to be aware, but I don't think it should consume your daily life. Because I just don't think it's not about you and your mental state and your empathy. It's about your body. I don't think our bodies are meant to carry that. I don't think our bodies can handle that. So if you're trying to work through it and also, have your job and also try and be there for your friends and also try and be there for yourself, it's a lot. It's a lot. So the best way we can navigate through this space is making sure that we ground ourselves on a daily basis. So I hope this video helped. I hope it gave you some insight if you didn't know any of these techniques before. If you do know any other techniques, then feel free to put them in the comments, because this is a welcoming space. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.